You are now tuned in to the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, where we will be discussing actual audio and visual clips captured during the team's investigations. Hear firsthand eyewitness accounts from fellow team members and special guests. Now smash that like, subscribe, and follow button, and let's get ready to welcome team leader and your host, Eric Vanderlaan, and tech specialist and co-host, Mike Del Coro.
Happy Monday, everybody. Everybody hates Mondays until it's over and you come on this show. Then you're all happy again. I was mad all day. And I'm dealing with a paranormal hangover. Went to a Paracon up in Jasper, Florida. Right there on the Florida-Georgia border, the old Hamilton jail. So I am burnt. But anyway, we got an amazing show. And my name is Eric. I'm the host of the War Party Paranormal Radio Show and the team leader of War Party Paranormal. And right over here, I have my sidekick.
What's up, guys? My name is Mike Del Coro. I'm a tech specialist case manager with War Party Paranormal Research Team and your co-host. We got a great show for you guys tonight, and I'm going to let Eric tell you what we're getting into.
Yeah, we're excited about this show. We have a really good guest. We have Josh Purvis, and he is a paranormal investigator, but what he mostly does is he does a lot of producing. A lot of the shows you might have been on TV, seen on TV. He's worked with people that you've seen on TV, Shane Pittman, Sean Austin, people like that. And he has a show as well. And I got a little teaser trailer. Should I play it?
Heck yeah, you should.
All right, let's let it roll. Here we go.
Do it.
Some of my most profound experiences, some of my first ones, happened right here in this town.
People are hesitant about the poly jail.
Well, the poly jail carries a lot of negative history, of course.
But there have been people that have died in the jail. One of the most notable one was Aberdeen Johnson. It's typical of lynching at that time. They castrated him before they pulled him up.
We opened the door.
We went in there. Something latched onto us, followed us back over here.
Not even 10 minutes later, we're seeing shadow figures.
If you're looking for ghosts, yeah, the town's pretty active. And if you talk to people, they'll tell you they've seen ghosts.
Everybody's got a positive spin on their ghost story except for people when they talk about the poly jail.
It seems like there's something more than meets the eye.
Every time we asked Sheriff Rogers about the poly jail, he was always trying to deflect. Okay. If we could get it open, would you walk us through?
Yeah, well.
His whole demeanor changed. I think there's something else going on there.
See that shadow movement? Who died?
He died.
Was it Aberdeen?
That's right.
I smelled something tug my shirt.
Go ahead, touch him.
Go ahead.
Dude, I just felt something touch my arm. What the
Got a little midnight snack out of all of us, really.
Oh,
I think it's time we get to work.
Everybody's got a ghost story, and they've all got their own ghost, but it could all be the same.
We were backstage and Josh was like, I got to get a pair of those Delco goggles. After seeing that scene, I don't know, you may not want to try this out, right?
The best, I love when they asked the sheriff and he's like, yeah, well. So without further
I don't want
ado,
you to think I'm crazy. You're from the South.
That's right.
Yeah, we proper people here.
Without further ado, let's bring on our guest, Josh. Everybody,
hey,
what's happening?
Hey, what's up?
Welcome to the show.
I always get really excited seeing that trailer. It's
a good one.
Yeah, you guys are talking about the sheriff. So a little fun fact there is, so when we went went over there to film. We spent 2 days filming. Obviously, I'm in the middle of editing the actual episode for that trailer. And the sheriff, we had been told that the sheriff would not go into that jail. But so when we interviewed him, we sat down. He's like, "All right, what kind of questions are you going to ask me?" And we were like, "Well, you'll see." We were like, "We're going to put it to the test." So him, when he does do that, and he says, "Yeah, well, we use that response all the time now." It's like a joke. So, but it's genuine. So like that, we asked him 2 or 3 times in different variations about going in there, and he never he didn't want to do it. No.
Yeah, that's funny.
Which is interesting because he would always deflect the question, and but he has his own paranormal experiences within the courthouse there, which was interesting. So, and that's kind of what that whole episode is about. Is we're dealing with a town where everybody has their own ghost story, but then at the same time, nobody wants to go to that jail. They just consider that jail to be evil.
Dark and
And where was that place again?
Union Springs, Alabama.
Okay.
It's got we have a past there, Shane and I specifically, where we've been friends for a very long time, well before he was on the Holzer Files, and he was going out there, and he had invited me at the time. It's been, I don't know, it's got to be like 10 years ago now. But for whatever reason, I didn't get to go. And so fast forward, we go out there. And so when he's jumping up out of the chair, it's because he's had some of the most profound experiences that he's ever had, which is saying a lot because of all the locations he's been to on the Holzer Files. There. So being there already makes him apprehensive in the first place. So a lot of he went there with a lot of his family, and they won't even go there anymore. They won't step foot in that building.
Well, now you can go back there and do the Delco. That'll really
right. No, absolutely. So in that clip, we're doing the Estes method. I'm sorry, we're Southern, so we say Estes a lot.
Hey, tomato, it don't matter.
You're right. But we're doing a little spin on it where we each take turns and we lock ourselves in the upper floor of the jail, and we communicate through a CCTV camera system. So you can't. So nobody else is actually there with you when it's happening. So that was pretty interesting. And so Ray goes first in that experience. And so as me and Shane are asking questions and getting like intelligent responses to it, that just kind of freaks us out anyway, because we're like, great, now we have to go do it. And it's like, well, it's not like the activity is not there, because it is, and we're getting information back. So now we get to go do this knowing that information. And so that's, that already puts us on pins and needles, and we're locked in a jail with a 100-pound door.
Yeah, no, that's
Josh is like, I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Man, fear plays a interesting factor in paranormal investigations, because it actually heightens your senses, and we do a lot of sense manipulation, sense deprivation experiments. So it's important to us to include that kind of aspect into it, and whether or not we get scared is, indifferent to us. I mean, everybody gets scared at some point. But we feel like it's important because it's one of the few ways you can put your brain in a sort of heightened state to pick up on things you wouldn't normally pick up on.
That's exactly what we do.
Yeah. And, it's funny because you were just saying, like, you guys like to do sensory deprivation and different experiments, and that's right up our alley. That's kind of what we like to do most. And we were doing a collaboration with Outcast Paranormal, and we were doing
this one.
We were doing the Delco experiment like on stage.
Cool.
They had it's a haunted bar with a stage,
right?
And then towards the end of the night, we were like, let's try something, So we had 2 pairs of the goggles. We put one Chaz of the Dead from Paranormality, that's a tongue twister magazine. He was in the bar, and then Bigfoot Stacy from Outcast Paranormal. We went down by the river in the woods, and then
and there's Bigfoot in them woods too. That's what they claim.
they swear that they've had stuff going on out there. So
I've been on one Bigfoot hunt, and I had the strangest experience. And
really?
Well, it had nothing to do with a Bigfoot, but it was strange.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw all these like glowing patches on the ground.
Oh, really?
And they were just everywhere. Yeah, we were out in the Daniel Boone National Forest, and pitch black, middle of the night, out in the middle of nowhere, and yeah, you could just see all these little, glowing things on the ground. I'm not really sure what they were.
Strange.
People have claimed to seeing like glowing lights during, when there's a Sasquatch that's present. I've heard that before.
I've been hunting Florida,
got skunk ape
Georgia,
down here.
Oh yeah,
and I've never had any kind of.
I got this tattoo of Bigfoot right here. It's actually a cave drawing. But yeah.
There you go.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think I've seen that before. Well, you need to come down to South Florida.
Oh man, we're always game.
Yeah,
always game.
We got some swamp buggies.
Oh, really? That'd be awesome.
So, make a long story short, we did we had two people set up in two different locations nearby, and then we just like FaceTimed each other, and we're asking questions to both at the same time at two different locations to see what would come back.
And see, that's what we do. We do them in separate rooms where we can't see each other, and just set up cameras pointing at each other and see what we get.
The last jail,
when the shit matches up, that's the best
it's
thing.
It's so crazy, man.
Isn't it nuts?
It is.
And the last jail we did, I put handcuffs on when I did it, just to maybe, so if there's any spirits around, maybe they would feel more comfortable talking to me, like they could relate to me, Plus, it also heightens, gives you like you're restricted, So, but yeah,
he was
very
feeling
cool
stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Your body is always your best tool. So manipulating it in a way to really bring out those abilities is great.
Right.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's I'm a firm believer in that kind of research for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I have to be, because I know that I've experienced it. I know it works, and I don't know how or why, but it does, and we always get really good information from it.
Yeah.
So Josh, go ahead, Mike.
No, have at it.
Okay, no, Josh, we were just talking earlier, and you were saying that like you never really into the paranormal until one day you went to the Sorrell-Weed house,
right?
So I was going to ask you how you got into it. If you could let people know.
Yeah, absolutely. So me and my wife, Savannah, for us is like home away from home, so we go there pretty frequently.
Beautiful spot.
I have friends down there. Even before I was a paranormal investigator, I was always huge. And let's take ghost tours. Let's go take all these historic tours. And the tour that we took at the Sorrell-Weed house was actually a daylight tour. And we were just down in the basement portion of it. Anyway, I just had, I think a BlackBerry Storm cell phone at the time, just taking pictures. That, we're down having a mini vacation, if you will. Yeah, I'm telling you.
That was the phone. That was the shit.
That was the phone, man, right? So just snapping pictures, and then we leave, and we're heading back home, actually, and I'm getting gas, and my wife's just going through the photos, and she says, "Hey, take a look at this one." And I was like, it could be anything. And so I got it back home and threw it on Photoshop and adjusted the coloring a little bit, the contrast in a way. And sure enough, you can see a lady there in a colonial dress. And that was one of the few times that I've ever actually captured something that profound and photographic evidence for me. And I've been, at this point, I've been probably to 40 some odd locations. I've been all over the country,
Right.
So that I kind of dove headfirst into it after that. I haven't stopped since. And, me being a cinematographer and filmmaker by nature, I really try and highlight the story of these locations, not necessarily the location itself, but the stories of the people. That little clip that you guys showed is going to tell the story of a prisoner that was at that jail by the name of Aberdeen Johnson. And so you could take a kind of look him up, and you'll get an idea of of why there's so much bad energy surrounding that prison. So
Okay.
prisons themselves, man, like every prison I've investigated has always just seemed to have like this energy, you know.
I think the reality is that prisoners historically are not treated well, you know, and so yeah, you may have some that come out unscathed, but the general census says that there are victims in every prison in the world, you know.
Yeah, like the St. Augustine jail here. It's one of the oldest jails.
Yeah,
and that place, you know, just thinking about it gives me the creeps, man. They used to pack like 6 or 7 people into a cell that was made for 2, you know.
Yep. Oh yeah, that was really common back then.
Yeah, like the life expectancy, like for that jail was like you're basically getting a death sentence if you were there for longer than you know, a few weeks.
Yeah, it is not how it is today. You know, they pack you 20 in a room.
Yeah, I forgot to tell Mike this, but I was just at the Hamilton County Jail up in Jasper, Florida, and I was looking at the architecture, and a lot of that architecture is similar to the St. Augustine jail. It was probably because that jail was built in, I think, 1894. And I think, maybe the St. Augustine jail might be a little bit lower.
So what's really interesting about that is we called the jail in this episode the Poly Jail, but in fact, it was built by the Poly Jail Company. So they built jails all over the country
around that same time.
Yeah. So you'll see really similar architecture. Yeah, Florida, I would not be surprised in the slightest. I really.
Yeah, I think the one in St. Augustine was designed by Henry Flagler because it was on like a main stretch of road, and he didn't want it to look like a jail. So like the front side of it looked all nice.
Oh, okay.
And then you look on the back, and then it looks like a regular jail, you know, on the back side. Right. But the front side, they made it. They dolled it up.
Yeah, he used the prisoners to work on the railroads.
Shane and I just did a docuseries that's coming out on Scare Network where we actually investigated a town. I don't want to give a ton away, but come to find out, it was a farm that housed Japanese prisoners of war there.
Oh, interesting.
But now the subdivision there is like they were built in like 2020, and so everybody's having paranormal activity there. And they're like all these new starter homes, and so you get there and you interview all these people, you know, that are like single moms with 2 kids, all these people trying to make their way in life now. And they have all this insane paranormal activity going on, and they're like legitimately scared.
Yeah, it's amazing how that paranormal activity lingers even after the structure is gone. Actually, Mike and I used to investigate the Broward Women's Correctional Facility down here in South Florida. I don't know if you saw the movie Monster, but Eileen Wuornos, the serial killer, was locked up there. And it was super haunted. I heard my first disembodied voice there, but they tore it down, and half of the area is a bunch of warehouses, and the other half is a big field with rubble. So we decided to go there one night.
Just to test to see.
Yeah, we just went in the middle of the field, put out a table, some equipment, started doing an EVP session. It was just 4 of us, 4 guys. And this is probably like, I don't know, it was late at night, maybe midnight, 1 a.m. And I get a Class A EVP of a woman yelling, "Someone please help me." Like, how wild is that? That's crazy.
Jeez, in the middle of a field. And you know what the other wild part is, on Google Maps, it still has the structure there, you know, because it wasn't updated.
That's crazy.
So we went to Google Maps and we kind of pinpointed where it was. And we were standing right in death row.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was wild. We didn't even know. Like, we were just kind of like in the field. And I said, listen. So I started playing around with the maps. But yeah, no, jails are always interesting. That's for sure.
History, man.
Oh yeah.
We've done some bad things. We've done a lot of good things, but we've done some bad things.
Oh yeah. Speaking about, there's a place here in Florida that you might be familiar with because it's close to the Florida-Georgia border, is the Dozer School for Boys.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh
yeah, that place.
Have you been there? I haven't been there.
But I've been wanting to,
but we're gonna go soon. We got some connections, and we're gonna get out there. There's
I mean,
They
that's
started-
still like an ongoing case, really, though, right? I mean, there's still things that they're finding out there.
They're
on the ground,
actually, they're actually demolishing it. Like part of it's already demolished.
Oh, really?
I think some of the main structures are still up now.
Some of the main structures are still there, and the cemetery obviously is still there, just like with little crosses, no named.
Right.
Just So, but yeah, no, for sure. And up there, I never really thought about that, right? Like, because down here in Florida, South Florida, we got a whole different history going on. You get like with having the camps like that, the military POW camps, things like that. Down here, we have a whole lot of Native American burial mounds that are everywhere, and they're built over the top of. And we do a lot of residential cases, and we sometimes will find that it dates back to the Native people.
Yeah, I pulled up a map of ancient Native American burial sites and like it's like villages or like that one section that there's a cluster of dots. That's where we get our most activity. We have 2 places that we do events that's haunted in that cluster of dots. And also I've done like 3 different residential cases. One of them was like a horse ranch. And I believe it's all related to that Native American. Right. I mean, it goes back to like thousands of years ago when the Tequesta Indians were there. Before people like us weren't even living there.
I always say that, good or bad, we have to learn to have transparency in our lives about what we do and what we don't do, because it could only it only takes one bad thing like that, and then you try to cover it up, it could turn into a really bad situation later on in life.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And then you got history from the Seminole Indian Wars. There were 3 of them, and from what I heard, that the Seminoles would curse the land because they were supposed to go out west to Oklahoma and they didn't want to, so they escaped down to Florida.
We have a big we always say that your beliefs and your paranormal activity has a lot to do with intent. And so if these people, this is the way they live their lives and they believe that they could curse people, then regardless of what we think is real about that, they thought it was real, therefore it does have some semblance of reality to it.
I think we did a show called The Spirits of the South, where there's a really old cemetery, and they dug up part in the early 1900s. They didn't know no better, and they dug up a huge part of a serpent mound that dated back to 250 AD.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so and we get a lot of activity there, and we
a lot of shadow figures.
We did an episode there, but it's one of the only serpent mounds other than the big one, like that's in Ohio. I think, is it in Ohio?
Yeah, it's Ohio.
Yeah, it's one of the only other ones that was that big, and they tore half of it up and made a road. But yeah, I kind of forgot where I was going with that, but.
Well, I believe a lot of the influences from that is from Mayan. I think some of the Mayans migrated up there, and they say they even like went as far north as, I don't know, maybe Ohio. I know they found things in Georgia as well, right?
Yeah, so the Etowah mounds are up in North Georgia. And if you go and you kind of take their tour and see some of the artifacts and stuff that was brought up, dug up and found and whatnot, you will gain an understanding that they had a different, they had a way of living life that was unique to this area, to suggest that maybe they came from maybe they intermingled with tribes that weren't from here. The way they structured their camps and stuff, they actually put a border around their camp so they could have archers up top, and which is uncommon. We deal with a lot of like Creek Indians and stuff of that nature, which are just hunter-gatherer type stuff. But these people had stuff that would really resemble Aztec type stuff. So
yeah, I think that there is some of that going on, where they migrated up into the North America and stuff, and I think a lot of it is kind of pushed to the side because they don't want to rewrite history.
Yeah,
You know?
I think so too. And
Yeah.
I think there's just so much that is misunderstood out there at this point. So
Yeah, they're even saying like now people are talking about how maybe the Egyptians migrated over the Atlantic and went up the Rio Grande and ended
oh
up
my gosh.
in the Grand Canyon, and they
Yeah,
found like
I was looking at that.
yeah, they found like hieroglyphics and all this stuff. The government's hiding it because part of I guess maybe they don't want to rewrite history.
Yeah,
you
you'd
know?
have to rewrite all of history as we know it.
How wild is that if that was true, you know?
I mean, I always think when I'm dead and gone, there's going to be like this whole new story about, you know, life and history and all of this
But
stuff.
I mean, like then you look at like the other day, they had this whistleblower come out and say, yeah, that we're hiding extraterrestrials.
Oh my gosh,
and
man.
and everybody was like, eh.
It's interesting, but I think that is a disinformation narrative, right? Is that they are really trying to keep that from being in the light. But I do find his stuff interesting. I'm not wearing a tinfoil hat around, but I find his legitimacy interesting. He has a really good backstory. He was really high up in the military. So there may be something to it. His lawyer was once the inspector general before the inspector general that is currently
guy.
there.
It's not like
right.
some kook,
So,
you know,
and it's not just him, and he has a lot of documentation to back up what he's saying.
And you know, when I was listening to him talk too, it also kind of reminded me of Bob Lazar.
Yeah,
a little bit, you know, about some of the stuff he was saying. But who knows? You know, who knows? That's the thing, is now I'm looking at it going, all right, is this legit or is this some BS? Because you never know what to believe anymore on you know, sometimes on the media, you know, it's like
you don't. And the reality is once something does flush out with that, we're only going to hear a small percentage of it, you know, not the full reality of it. They'll never tell us that. Especially if they're trying to reverse engineer some of these vehicles and whatnot, you know, it becomes a point of national security.
Yeah. So
yeah, who knows what we don't know.
And even he says it in interviews, right? He has lots of documentation, and he was like,
but he said he can't show it.
He can't show it because it's classified. So on one hand, I get it. On the other hand, they have to find a way forward to explain that to the public. I think it's becoming way more it's becoming normalized now, you know. So
yeah, that's what I mean. Like if you look back at like when the Orson Welles did the whole War of the Worlds thing on the radio, people were jumping out of windows, they were freaking out. Now a guy comes on TV and says straight up, like, we got UFOs, we have bodies, and people are like, you know, it's crazy.
You know, me and my wife,
they desensitize us so much, you know, that
we laugh about that so much because we are very desensitized. We're desensitized to like even like terrible acts happening, right? Because it's just another Tuesday for us these days.
Imagine how our kids are going to be with the social media and all the things they're seeing now. It's going to be crazy. We're going to be a bunch of unsensitive aliens.
I mean, there's only one way to like survive like handling all that information, and it's to become desensitized to it all.
And we get spoiled because you want it right away. Like when you're like searching for something, your internet's taking it forever. You're like start throwing things at your computer. Come on.
We constantly joke that like we have our own podcast, The Paranormal Mind. We constantly joke about that, and we always say that, like, you know, our cell phones, if we had this 100 years ago, they would think we were a witch and try to burn us.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny. I tell my kids, like, you know, when I was young, I didn't have a cell phone. They didn't have them back then. And I sort of glad that I didn't have a cell phone because my mom would be like hounding me all over the place.
Of course.
I had a pager,
GPS tracker, and all that crazy stuff.
But back then with a pager, people didn't get mad if you didn't call them back. They were just like,
that's very true. Yeah.
Now, if you don't text somebody back or call them back, like instantly, they're like, "What in the world's going on?"
It's funny, man, because I have a lot of, and here I am on this show. I have a lot of social anxiety, so like talking on the phone
I'd rather text
me out.
Oh, my sister's on the chat for the very first time.
Nice. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Real quick, I also want to welcome everyone that's in the show. There's some new people here. I want to give a shout out to James from Cross the Line Paranormal. Actually, you and Josh, you and James are practically neighbors. He's in Valdosta. I don't know.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you heard of the Cross the Line Paranormal.
No, but
he came down to the old Hamilton jail and hung out with us. And his daughter did the the Delco.
Oh.
And we got some pretty interesting results with her doing it. It was really wild. I mean, she mentioned someone was hung. There was actually children that I guess that stayed in the jail at one point because there were women that were locked up there. I was gonna say knocked up there.
Knocked up.
Right. So yeah, we got some really cool results, and it was really weird because we had the REM pod on the table and it was going off, and she couldn't hear us talking, but the REM pod was loud, so she could hear that. And she's like, when I heard the REM pod going off, I saw like a man like standing like behind the bars, like when she was wearing the goggles. So it was pretty wild.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yep.
Awesome. So it's about halfway mark, and that's the time that we gotta.
I want to do one quick thing though.
Go for it.
Mike's not going to be too happy about it. He might be a little bit embarrassed, but
what?
I
don't like the sounds of that.
Uh-oh.
So we have a mutual friend, and don't worry, there's not going to be any singing, Mike. We have a mutual friend, and a lot of people on the chat are friends with her, Janine J9. Today's her birthday, and I just want to wish her a happy birthday. And from the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, she's a big fan. She's a big friend, and I don't know if you're going to watch this later, Janine, but stay away from the haunted tubs.
Yeah,
I hope you have a great birthday. Happy birthday, Janine.
Happy birthday.
And yeah, so this is the halfway mark, and we got, as Eric would say, we got to pay the bills. So we got a couple quick ads,
some bills,
and we'll get right back to it. So this is a little ad from one of our sponsors, the Ghost Hunter store, Dave Giuliano.
What's up, my paranormal peeps? I'm Eric Vanderlaan, and I'm the host of War Party Paranormal Radio, and also the team leader of War Party Paranormal Research. And we got an exciting announcement to let you guys know tonight, and it involves stuff like this, and my co-host is going to tell you all about it.
What's up, guys? I'm Mike Del Coro with War Party, obviously. We are a technical team, and we always have people ask us, where can we get equipment like this? Well, you can get it from the ghosthunterstore.com. We got a nice little sponsorship worked out with them. We're going to be doing some giveaways, so stay tuned. Very, very cool, and go check them out at theghosthunterstore.com.
Peace.
Yeah, guys,
that can apply to you, Josh.
Yeah, if you head over to their store, they have metaphysical stuff, religious stuff, all kinds of different tech stuff. And when you go ahead and check out, if you put in the promo code Ghost Gone Wild, you'll get a discount on your
not Girls Gone Wild, Ghost Gone Wild.
Yeah, that's right. And then
it's a different type of show.
The late night show.
Exactly.
What's up, my paranormal people? Eric and Mike here from the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, wanting you to remember the importance of hydration. Remember, we hunt ghosts. We don't want to turn into ghosts. Dehydration can lead to inflammation and even degenerative disease, so hydration is crucial.
Whether you're up all night investigating the paranormal, sky watching, or Bigfoot, Fuel Up Hydration System is designed to support motivation, concentration, and rejuvenation with the best immune-enhancing delivery system available today.
Experience the benefits of Fuel Up with their Feel the Difference money-back guarantee.
Visit fuelup.gg/warparty for their special offer that includes free shipping.
Fuel Up for life.
Hey, Eric, how do we do?
Which is awesome.
All right. Well, maybe we should stick to hunting ghosts. I don't know if
commercials is our thing.
True that.
That'd be perfect for Georgia.
I'm
It's
into
hot there,
this, man.
too.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, they don't call hot Atlanta for nothing.
Oh my gosh, it gets so hot down here.
Right? It was in the hundreds today down here.
Oh,
yeah, it was nasty.
Nice and humid. You can cut it with a knife.
I didn't go outside much today because I've been editing pretty much all day. So
yeah, you're lucky.
Yeah.
Well, I've been on those editing sprees too. You get
that looks like your mad scientist laboratory there in the background.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is like you can see half of all of our camera gear. Like,
so
I'm like looking, what has he got back there?
secret, top secret, it's all up in like hard cases.
I think I see some things that I like.
All right, and last but not least, guys, we got a new episode of The Haunted Files coming out this Friday, 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Paraflix. And if you don't have Paraflix, get it. And that's all I got. No,
$3.99 a month. It's nothing.
Yeah, and if you use the code The Haunted Files 25, you get 25% off your annual subscription. It comes up to like $30 a year.
You see, we give you money back. We give you money back for ghost hunting toys, watching us,
fuel up
our episode, making yourself hydrated.
This is very profitable to watch us.
Yep.
People witness all kinds of activities from disembodied voices, footsteps, shadow figures.
So what's
get out?
The typical. I just heard something like behind me. Yeah, big time.
Can you do that again?
I definitely felt like I was communicating with a child here. Could have been Eleanor, I'm not sure.
Eleanor was 9 when she died.
Thank you. Please separate.
The stair, no.
What?
That's gonna be fun. It's just super, super creepy, man. Underneath those stairs where it's pointing. Who's down here? Is there anybody with me down here?
I don't know. I don't feel welcomed here. And I'm just getting like chills all over my arm right now. I already feel really weird. This is like the weirdest place I've ever been to. I mean, it's sort of like unnerving right now, right? When all the lights are on.
And that was a cool place.
Yeah.
Built in 1794, Norristown, Pennsylvania.
Very spooky.
Yeah.
Very spooky place.
Very unnerving, just like I said. So we got all kinds of guests here. I just wanted my sister's on here. We got some new people. We actually have one of our good friends, Henry Lee. He's
Speaking
the owner.
about jails. Yeah, he's the owner of Gilchrist County Jail. Check it out, guys.
Maybe a possible future episode for some deprivation.
Always looking for new locations for sure.
Yep. Yeah. So he's getting it up and ready. He's turning that into a historical location.
Oh, nice.
Pretty soon he's going to have that place up and running, and people can go there and investigate.
Super paranormal friendly, and he invites teams to come out, people to come out, film, investigate. So he's got a really cool system set up in there. They call it a Casper system. So it does IR and thermal, and it has it a couple different cells and everywhere, and it's live streamed.
Dang, that's cool.
So he's got
pretty badass.
Cool, yeah, he's
really cool.
He's doing the right thing. So yeah, you should definitely check him out for sure. Look him up on Facebook at Gilchrist County Jail.
All right,
I'll
do that.
Old Gilchrist County Jail.
Thanks, T.
And hey, we got Shams down there. We got
people from Brazil, Josh.
Hey,
international.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, that was it for the commercials. Let's get back into it.
Is that all? You ain't got any more?
We could show more if you wanted to.
I was into it, man. You know, I'm the guy at the movie theater. He always likes the trailers, you know. I'm
right
for the trailers.
And I look at all that stuff too, because I edit all our own stuff.
Oh yeah, me too.
And like, so I'm like, that's why I really appreciate your trailer. It was awesome. And I know you've done brag a little bit. Tell us what some of the stuff that you've worked on.
So you know, primarily me and Shane have done a lot in the realm of show development, early stages stuff, but we deal with other production companies. We worked with the production company that produces Discovery Unknown, Josh Gates's stuff. Did Ghost Nation and whatnot. They've been around for a really long time. We worked with developing some stuff with them. Can't talk about it, but
you've worked
You're
on
on the
some
lookout
movies as
for
well,
it,
right?
though.
What was that?
You've worked on some movies as well, right?
Oh yeah. So I've done a lot of. I've worked on some local movies. The Crazies here.
Awesome movie.
15 years ago, I feel like it's been a long time.
Has it really been that long?
Yeah,
I love that movie. That was great.
Of course, The Walking Dead is from they film up in Atlanta, so I've done a lot of work over there on The Walking Dead.
Big fan of them as well.
Awesome.
I've done some shows. There was a movie that came out. It's called Just Mercy. I played a prison guard in there, so that was kind of cool. Yeah, I do a little bit of everything when it comes to filmmaking. Again, recently got done helping film and being on camera for a docuseries for the Scare Network with me, Shane, and Sean Austin, plus a plethora of other paranormal investigators that are really good. Eric Connor, Chris Mendez. And so, yeah, we're looking, I'm really excited to see that. It'll be coming out in August. But yeah, we spent probably a week or so filming that. So,
but and Searchers has been out for a while, right? You guys have been doing that.
Yeah. So Searchers has become like this whole like group effort, if you will, family oriented thing where it's like everybody, we try to like bring everybody into it. You know, we're just the Shane, Ray, and I are just like the conduit, if you will, of the whole thing. But our statement has always been that, you know, everybody's always searching for something. And so we really try and bring everybody into the fold with that. We do a lot of live stream investigations.
Nice.
We've recently started launching all of our stuff on YouTube, which has been great because, you know, I think everybody's gotten overly saturated with streaming platforms. And so we wanted to give something that was going to be free for like all of our content. You know, we use Patreon, that helps financially support a lot of our stuff, and that's been really successful for us. But yeah, we're trying to kind of just grassroots everything, and it's been this year we've really been finding ourselves and being able to make all that happen. And
yeah, that's awesome. Cool. And like we're the whole Haunted Files thing with us is new to us, you know, that we're on our 7th episode.
Might be picking your brain later.
and it's been a really exciting and fun and journey, you know. It's
so what's interesting for us is, you know, with Searchers, we filmed a lot of content for the last couple of years, but we kind of just had it shelved because Shane and I have been working with producers, been pitching it, and been getting really great feedback in TV networks. But the reality came to, if we sold it on a TV network, then it would no longer be ours, and that worried us a lot. So this year we were like, you know, let's just see what happens, and we'll take it out and put it on YouTube. And I feel like it's going to be the best thing we've decided to do. We've had a lot of really good responses, and like
see, YouTube is. If you how do I say this? If you're somebody that's not already established a fan base, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
But since you guys, you know, are known and people know, you know, Shane and you guys,
right?
It's a great platform for that. For you know.
You know, it's a constant grind, you know, putting your name out there. It all becomes sort of like a brand, you know, and every day we're posting, every day we're making content, we're talking, we're trying to do as much as possible. And it's really hard. You know, we all three have wives. Shane and Ray both have like 1 million kids. So like, you know,
that's all.
we travel a lot. And then on top of that, they have to, you know, we have lives that we have to live here at home too.
Right.
So we spend a great deal of time working this stuff. But that, you know, that's what it takes. You just got to keep grinding at it. And
it's
you get there.
You know, we do the same. I mean, Eric and I are constantly grinding on social
But we're
media
passionate
daily.
about it, so it makes it so easy.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, if you're confident that you have good content and that you're something that'll be appreciated out there in the world, then keep fighting for it. You know, it's not a matter
that's why we
not a
do
matter of if, but a matter of when.
Yeah, that's why we do it. We're really passionate about it, and we enjoy it. You know,
and you know, the thing that really set us on our path, and I have to give them a little bit of credit for this, is when Destination Fear decided to move to YouTube, because we were like, man, you know, that's a bold move to make, and we, you know, I'm not going to go into detail of the nature of network TV right now, but it's really tough out there. It's really tough out there for paranormal reality, and it has nothing to do with the fact of whether or not the content is really good. I'll go. So if you're out there and you're trying to pitch a show right now, if you're getting turned down, don't just think it's because your content is bad. No, there's a lot of structural things going on in the background and business of that that is really hurting a lot of people, and it's really hurting production companies that have been down, you know, produced some of your best shows for the last 10 years, and now all of a sudden they can't get anything through the door.
Well, we were on a call with the producer last Friday, and we were talking about the same subject.
It is, and you know, they try to be light-footed on it, and I try to as well, because you don't know who you'll be working with next. However, it's tough. I think they all can agree on that it's tough, and there is specifically for paranormal reality TV, one of your bigger places that would normally buy that stuff is having a rough time right now. They're having a really rough time. So,
and it almost seemed like it got a little oversaturated too. Like,
it did, but not just in paranormal reality. So when COVID came out, everybody moved to a streaming platform, right? And then so as people started going back out, they had spent so much money on content and stuff at that time. When COVID kind of, you know, wrapped itself up, they found themselves not being able to sustain that amount of content because their subscription levels dropped. And now all of a sudden they're cutting stuff like crazy all over the place.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's almost like the stock market. It
really is.
Like it goes up and down. Like, remember 7 years ago, people were like, no one's interested in the paranormal. And then a year later, boom, you see all these paranormal shows all over the place.
So that's the root of the problem, really, is it all does go back to the stock market, and it has to do with these networks having all these, they have a lot of investors and stuff like that, right? So when subscription levels are down and you're not making that money and you're spending more on content than you're bringing back, it creates a fundamental problem. And I'm hoping, you know,
they start panicking, just like in the Wall Street.
They do. I mean, just because it's, you know, TV doesn't make that any different. These people are multi-million, sometimes billion-dollar companies. Like, they're not. There's not some guy at the top that's solely making that money. So there's a lot of people with a lot of input, and that's, you know, just give it time.
Like I said, you know, with everything that we're doing, we really do enjoy it, and it's fun, and we get out there, and I enjoy like showing the evidence that we capture. You know what I mean? Like, I really enjoy like showing that off.
It's like it's like an adult show and tell, but a creepy adult show and tell.
You know, that was the
favorite time during school for me when I was a kid. Show and tell.
That was a big deciding factor for us, and it's been a lot of work, and it'll continue to be a lot of work. But we, you know, we sat there and said, you know, we don't want to hold on to all of this stuff any longer than we have to. Let's go ahead and release this stuff, and people deserve to be able to watch it. People, you know, we need to keep on moving on, and and that's what we did, and it's been great. We already have pretty much a full year booked up for filming this year, all over the country. So that's been we're blessed. We're humbled that we're able to even do it, you know, especially being like, realistically, we are independent in any way you cut it. You know, we're not getting favors from anybody there. And it's a struggle. It's a struggle. You know?
No. We understand. But also, where can people find that content? So anybody that's watching the show, and also just so you know, this show also it goes out through the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network, and in about a few minutes here, actually, they're gonna roll over to their next live show. KGRA hosts a lot of other shows, UFOs, Bigfoot, MUFON is on there. You got Bishop Long. That was on Ghost Adventures. He's on there, has a show.
I met him many years ago.
Yeah.
Man, he can talk.
Yeah, he can. He's really good at it. And so anybody else that wants to continue watching, if you want to move over to the War Party Paranormal YouTube channel, we're still going to be streaming there. But
to our new people that are in the chat, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and tell all your friends about this awesome show and the amazing guests that we bring on.
Never undervalue your follow or like or comment or share. It is highly important, people.
It does. It really does help. It helps the algorithm. It helps it get out there.
But we don't get paid money, so we don't. We give you money, right?
Exactly. So, and everybody that's listening, check out Josh and Shane's stuff, man. It looks awesome. It looks like they got some really good stuff coming. And where can people find you on YouTube?
Okay, yeah. So if you guys want to check out youtube.com/@ searchers believe, because YouTube is weird and you have to have the @ symbol in front of your name. I don't know why. You'll be able to find all of our episodic content. We have 2 episodes fully edited on there right now, plus a lot of behind the scenes stuff, which is something that's really cool that we're able to put out as well. Things that don't make the cut in the episodes, we try to formulate, maybe other interviews and stuff that we filmed while we were on set. And we are editing the 3rd one, and I told Shane today I'm going to try and have that one polished up by not this coming weekend, but next weekend. So it should be coming out before the end of the month. I'm excited about that. If you want to listen to our podcast, Shane, Ray, and I also have a podcast called The Paranormal Mind. You can listen to that anywhere you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that fun, every place, you name it, it's there. So that's really fun, and we kind of consider that like a break from all of our other work, because it's we're really laid back. We laugh a lot, but then we tell some interesting information about maybe some of the history's wildest paranormal cases. So
very cool.
I want to give a shout out to Elizabeth Williams. She tries to share as much as possible. So Elizabeth, I appreciate
Hey, Betsy.
You.
Yeah. Love Betsy.
And also shout out to our leader, our co-founder, John Zapp Adderall. He's a big tater tot lover. So not only ghosts, paranormal.
Where are the tater tots? I love it.
Yeah, Zapp is awesome, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for popping in, Zapp. So yeah, also you're going to be at the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash.
Yes,
right?
not only just me, but Shane and Ray, which is for this year, because we've been so busy at working that this will be the first time that we've all 3 been together at a convention this year, which is
awesome,
incredible. We typically do a ton of events and stuff, and while Shane has been at quite a few this year, because of editing, because of filming and recording the podcast now, we have not all 3 been at a convention together. So this will be the first one.
That's awesome.
So fantastic.
Yeah.
You'll see Scotty there.
Yeah.
Our other co-founder.
Yeah, I met her for the first time last year, and she's fantastic.
Yeah, she's awesome. So she'll
bring the snacks.
Awesome.
And guys, if you want to check out the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash, it benefits PA Wounded Warriors, and it's actually on July 14th through 16th, 2023. That's coming up here real soon. It's at the Wyndham in PA, so make sure you check that out. Also, where can people find your social media stuff, like for everything that you guys are doing?
So for on Instagram, it's at Searchers Believe. For Facebook, it's Searchers Believe. Twitter, it's Searchers Believe, and we have a TikTok. We're old and we have a TikTok. It's I believe it's Searchers Believe there too.
Okay.
So yeah, send us a follow, shoot us a message, comment on our stuff. We respond all day, every day. So
all right, awesome. And you know what, guys, I'll put some links in the description to this on this episode, so you guys can find all that information there in the description. And for me, guys, if you want to follow any of my personal content or any of the stuff I put out there on social media, the easiest way is if you go to www.flaparanormalresearcher.com. I have some blogs there, some videos, different things. Also, you can find the Delco goggles there when I have them for sale after I build them. And that links out to my YouTube, my social media content. And also, you want to make sure that you follow warpartyparanormal.com. If you are experiencing any problems in the paranormal, things like that, we specialize in doing residential. So if you're local, also we have a list of all our upcoming ghost hunting events that we do live with the public, listed right there. And Eric,
you said everything. No, I could say more. But Josh, if you're looking for new family members, Mike and I, maybe a little Georgia, Florida line.
Hey, there we go.
Live stream, Delco,
Searchers,
remote.
and the Haunted Files collaborative.
Hey, man, we
just throwing that out there.
To date, Searchers has not done anything in Florida. So if you guys,
there you go,
we can talk, man. We can
look it up.
Something going.
All right, cool. So yeah, like Mike said, War Party Paranormal, everything's linked to warpartyparanormal.com. And we got an amazing ghost hunting event. It's interactive. We bring out all the toys at a super active place down in Miami, the Gold Coast Railroad Museum. That's going to be on June 24th. So you can go to Eventbrite. You can also go to our website and buy your tickets. Very affordable, $30. I believe you get a one ticket drink. You have to meet Mike and I. Like,
come on,
people pay like millions of dollars for that. No, I'm just teasing. Don't want to be fooling myself. But anyway, it's a really good event. All the money goes to the upkeep at the museum. They could use that. And it's a very interesting place. Back in the 1940s, it was a naval air base. They stored blimps there. They had 3 hangars that can store 6 blimps. Imagine how big that hangar was. And a hurricane came by. One of the blimps caught on fire. The whole place blew up. A lot of tragedy there. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then on top of that, so where the museum is, they built a smaller hangar over where the original hangar was. And they have like 3 lines of historical rail cars. One of them, the Ferdinand Magellan. It was a presidential car. Reagan, Truman, Roosevelt, even Winston Churchill rode in that car.
That's cool.
And actually, a Secret Service agent got shot there. And we actually communicated with them. And then you got an Army medical car, totally different vibe. So yeah, you got to check it out.
And you even have parts of the main structure that are still there that are crazy active.
Yeah.
So it's just like a perfect storm for paranormal. It's awesome. And
they actually did it in almost a perfect storm. Actually, not a perfect storm. It was just like a tropical disturbance, but I think that stirred up the energy. So maybe we'll get like a little disturbance on the 24th. So we'll see. Because rain or shine, we're going to have it.
That's right.
And for me personally, you can find me at Ghost Hunter of South Florida through IG, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. And all the new people here in the chat, please come back. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Yep. Yeah, we do.
And yeah,
you gonna take us home?
Let's do it. I will.
All right. Oh, and thanks again, Josh. It was
thank you guys. It was been a blast.
Thank you, Josh.
And we'll have to bring it back on in the future for sure.
Sounds good.
Heck yeah. Thanks, guys. Keep it spooky.